What's going on, guys? Am I recording? Yes. Today I'm going to start a project for my truck. I am going to take everything out and I'm going to replace this box that I built last year. It's a down-firing sealed box. You can see the subwoofer in there. Yeah. And I'm gonna make a fourth order. Yes, I'm gonna put a fourth order box in here. And I got it drawn up. I'm gonna redo the console. That was just kind of like practice. And I'm gonna make it out of cabinet grade wood. Yeah, I'm gonna do a few more things, but right now I can't get any subs. Can't get no Orion subs, which is what I wanted. I wanted to get 2 more subs and have 4 12-inch subs in there, but can't do that right now. So while I wait for Orion to either come out with a version 2 or a new line or a reproduction, I'm gonna build another box and try to increase my output. So I got 3 sheets of birch. Clean my garage up a little bit. I got a router table I might try out a little bit and maybe do the round over the edges and stuff like that. Got a few bits for it or whatever, but I'm going to rebuild this box, build a new box. I got my dimensions for every piece. I'm gonna double wall the box, so it's gonna be 2 sheets of 3/4 inch birch, and it's going to be about 2.5 cubes sealed and about 4.5, well, about 4 ported, with around 270 square inch port. I'll probably make it a little bigger than that and just play with it afterwards, you know, because I don't really know a lot about tuning them just yet. So I figure I'll play with this until I get it. Of course, I'll have to get me a SPL meter in order to do that. But that'll be next on the list. But I'm going to start cutting these pieces. I don't guess I need to film that. I'm sure everybody knows how to do that. I don't have a table saw, but I do have a saw guide. And so that's what I'm going to use to cut my wood. I got a brad nail gun that I use. It takes 2-inch brads. Got some clamps. Got my caulk gun. I bought some different glue, some wood glue that I'm going to try out. There's all my screws and stuff. I got some chamfer board that I'm going to use on the inside corners of the box to round the corners over. I'm going to try that out, see how that works. What do I do with my glue? Oh, there it is. I'm going to try Gorilla Glue for the joints. Yeah. And I'm going to use this tight bond glue to glue the 2 sheets together. Yeah. And I have some shorter screws that I'll hit here and there just to tighten it up, and so that the 2 pieces will be together very good, really good. It won't be loose anywhere and it won't rattle. And that's how I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a wedge-shaped box, just like the one that's in it. It gives me more room for my seat, and then I can lay it back. I got me a sander. Works good with my compressor over here. Yeah, that compressor doesn't hold a lot of air, but it works. You know, it stays on a lot, but it shouldn't need too much sanding. You know, being the birch like that, smooth veneer. So, yeah. All right. I might come back after I get a few pieces cut. I don't know if I run into something I think needs to be filmed. I might come back and shoot it. But I'm not very good with the cameraman, so you have to excuse me. This is going to be my first fourth order build, so I'm gonna enjoy it because that's what it's about, having fun. All right, see y'all in a bit. All right, so I got all my pieces cut. Like I said, it's gonna be double walled. So this is my top, my sides, and my baffle, bottom, front, and back. They're all labeled. Now I gotta glue them together. I got a router. I need to pick up a flush trim bit just so I can get those edges perfect. Got a router. I'll get the flush trim bit, and right now I got a round over bit on it. I'm gonna get the edges. I'm gonna glue it. Then I'm gonna get the edges perfect. Then I'm gonna round the edges over like this. This was just a practice piece that I tried it with, just to see how to do it, what it would do. I'd never used a router before, and so I wanted to practice it before I took it to the enclosure. Get my brad nail gun, get some air going. First I gotta go get some more glue though. I didn't get nearly enough glue. I only got that little bottle, and it's definitely not gonna be enough. So once I get them glued together and get it started putting together, now I'll be back and get another shot. All right. So I'm gonna start gluing. Got my glue, got me some clamps, got me 1 1/4 inch screws. I'm gonna glue 2 pieces together. I'm gonna glue each of the 2 pieces together, and then I'm gonna clamp them all down and put some weight on them or something. I'm not sure, but the screws should hold them pretty decent. Yeah, but once I get them all cut or glued, I got myself a flush trim bit so I can get the sides perfect. Of course, they shouldn't be that bad. I'll start screwing it together. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking this wood, and I'm taking the glue, and I'm using a spreader, and I'm completely coating the wood, and then I'm putting a piece down, and then I'm screwing it with 1 1/4 inch screws, and then squeezing it together. You can see the glue coming out the side of it to make a bond. These pieces, they're not terrible. Some of them might not need the flush trim bit. I don't know. I'm gonna run it over just in case. Yeah, just to get it perfect. At any rate, this sandwiching it together, forming a good bond, so that there's no hollow spaces in between the sheets of wood. Because I want it to be really tight. I want it to be really thick, really dense. This is gonna be for my 2 HCCA 124 subs. It's for my daily driver. But this is the first 4th order bandpass I'm building. I've already said that, but I just thought I'd let the end show you the screwing it down. Notice how I left a space here so I can run my 3-inch screws down the sides. This is the top piece, so there'll be a port in it, so I might pull a couple of these screws out right here to put the port in there. But it's looking good so far. I'm happy with it. Alright, I'll come back when I get it all done. Alright, so we've got everything glued and screwed. I will be turning all the screws that's holding this wood together on the inside of the box, so that what we will see on the outside will be smooth wood. I haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to carpet it or what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably end up carpeting it, just because I got a shelf in the truck that the box will be screwed to, and I don't want no vibrations between the box and the shelf. So tomorrow I will come back out here, and I will use my flush trim bit and hit these sides. You can see just a tiny bit in certain places. It's not terrible. This is only the 2nd box that I've ever built as far as that goes, and so I think, truthfully, I feel like I did pretty good on my cuts. Something told me that next time maybe I should glue the plywood together before I cut, and then cut both pieces together at the same time. That might be a good idea. I don't know. I haven't watched too many people build a double walled box, so I really don't know a lot about it. The Lowe's where I live, they don't carry anything larger than 3/4 inch plywood, and so I couldn't get 1 inch or 1.5 inch, or what is it, 13 layer Baltic birch. I couldn't buy that wood locally, and so this was my next best step. Yeah, all right. I feel like it's pretty good. I like it. I'm happy with it. So I got my sides. This is going to be a wedge box. I'm going to have 7 inches at the bottom for the sealed, and then there'll be 1.5 inches for the baffle, and then it'll be the rest of this will be for the porting area, and the port's going to be 16.5 inches squared. It's around 270 inches square inches. I'm probably going to make it a little bigger than that. I might make it 300 square inches just to start with, and you know, play with it. I will buy a SPL meter, like I said, and so that you know, I can tune it. I want to get the power. Was it the power option or whatever? You know, it plugs into the sensor, so you can get your box impedance or ohm impedance rise, as well as your output. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, guys. I'll come back here tomorrow after this is dried, and we'll start fixing it up. I got to trim the baffle 3 inches. I got to trim 3 inches off the baffle. It's going inside. The inner measurement is 45 inches. The outer measurement is 48. And of course, I got to cut the circles out for the subs. And really, that's all the other cutting I got to do besides the flush trim bit. It'll be ready to screw together. It's going to be a beast. I'll go ahead and walk out here. I don't know. Yeah, I already showed the truck. That's right. I gotta get everything out. I'm late off work due to this COVID crap, so I got plenty of time. Yeah, I'm not supposed to return to work till June 30th. So, like I said, I got plenty of time to do this build or whatever it is. I'm also going to build my console. I'm thinking about taking this scrap sheet that I got. It's 48 by 48. Should be enough to redo my console. If it's not, I can go. Well, no, I can't. It's closed. I was going to say I could go to the Peddler's Mall and get some cabinet wood, but I can't because it's closed. Yeah, I hate to have to buy another sheet of birch for that, but I might. I don't know. I'm going to have to see what I got going on first. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys. So I went ahead and... Oh, hold on a second. All right, shut this music down. Alright, I went ahead and used my flush trim bit and got the edges, so they're all now perfect. I didn't record it, it's very loud. Not only that, hopefully you guys have seen somebody use a router before. If not, maybe I will, when I do the roundovers, because I have to take the router out of the table to do the roundover. Maybe I'll record some of that. Yeah, alright. But it is done. Okay. I'm happy now. Now I can get a good seal. I can feel confident with my seal. Yes, sir. We'll be using Gorilla Glue for the joints. I bought it just for the joints. So we shall do that coming up.
So how much you gonna be giving?
All right, day 2, and today we're going to rip out this console, the amps and stuff that's in there. I'm gonna take the seats out, and I'm gonna start taking this box apart so I can get my subs out. When I designed the box, what I could not know was the size of the subs and whether or not the top part of the box will fit over top of the motors at the height that the subs will be sitting inside the box. And so that what we might end up with, I'm going to mount the subs inverted. The motor will be in the ported section. Whether I get to mount them on top of the baffle or through the baffle is what I don't know yet. So before I can cut the baffle, I need to know what size the baffles are going to need to be. And I need to know whether the motor is going to clear the top of the box or not. And if the motor clears the top of the box, if it's sitting on top of the baffle, then we're good to go. And if not, then we'll have to mount them through the baffle, maybe. I don't really want to do that. I want to be able to keep them on top of the baffle. That way I can come through the top of the box if there's ever a problem with the subs, and I can take the subs out through the top of the box, through the port area. That's what I want to do, but I don't know if that's what I'm going to get to do. So before I can put the box together, I need to have the subs on hand so that I can test this fit and decide that. So today is going to be about tearing all this out and getting the subs out of the current box that I have built. I have built a wedge-shaped box for the comfort of my sitting. Because I'd like to be able to sit and have leg room, obviously, and be able to lean back in the seat just a little bit. I don't want to be sitting on top of the steering wheel with the steering wheel on my chest. Yeah, so this is the reason for the wedge-shaped box. Yeah, okay. All right, man, let me get at it. Later. All right. Seats out, console out. Got a big, huge, nasty mess. Yeah. I'm going to take this speaker terminal out, and then I'm just going to take this box and I'm going to lay it down if I can. I need to get to the subs that are underneath. That's all I need to do is just get to the subs. Once I'm able to get to the subs and unwire them, I'll be good to go. I just need to pull the subs out for sure, and so I can get this box lined out. I'll be able to pull this old box out no problem. I'll set it to the side. I guess I'll probably set it in here next to my 15-inch Orion HCCA box and sub. And maybe it'll come in handy for something in the future. Yeah, man, I really want to use this, but I can't right now. You can't even find Orion subs, it seems like. And if you can, the 15-inch, I found one. It was $1,200. I'm thinking about selling mine. But yeah, then I'll be able to get this box. I'll have to wait for my buddies to get home off work today to help me install this box, because it's 2.5 sheets of birch plywood plus 2 subs that weigh 75 pounds apiece. And yeah, I don't see myself lifting it by myself. I'm going to take a shot and probably say it's going to take at least 3 guys probably to get it in there. I was gonna carpet the enclosure, but you know that birch looks so good, I'm not gonna carpet it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay some type of upholstery or even area rug or carpet or something on this shelf to keep vibration from happening from the enclosure that'll be sitting on it. That way I won't have to worry about it vibrating, you know, especially with that high base. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the rest of that birch plywood that I have, and I'm going to redo that console that I pulled out. That's what I'm going to do. And now I might cover the console at some future point, maybe. I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet. I'd like to cover it in a gray vinyl that'll match my interior, but I don't know. Well, you can see my interior is two-tone. It's like a light industrial gray, and then it's like a black. It's nasty. This is my work truck, guys. So what I thought about doing, since this area from here to here is black, I'm thinking about maybe doing the console, because it comes back through here. I'm thinking about doing it in a black vinyl that'll match the center of the dash, and so, you know, it'll look, you know, just kind of flowing. I don't know. This is the first thing like this I've ever done, guys, so bear with me if what I'd say and do seems goofy, or if I'm making mistakes, or, you know, whatever. This is really my first attempt at that. Oh yeah, one thing I am going to do that I should have done that didn't do was cover these flaps. I don't know why I didn't cover these flaps, but I left them open. And I am definitely going to cover these things because it's causing some kind of vibration in between the truck bed and the cab. So I'm definitely going to cover those flaps. Yeah, I'm going to get that in, definitely, without a doubt. But I don't know what else I might do. At some point I might sound dead in the doors and the top of the cab. I don't know. Those two subs, they really don't. I mean, you know, it's just 5,000 watts. You know, well, it's 5,000 watts at 1 ohm. I don't know what my impedance rise is or what it will be in the fourth order box. I'm sure the impedance rise will be less in that fourth order box than what it would be in a ported box because of the compliance and the movement of the cone. But at any rate, I know I won't be seeing 5,000 no more. I might need to get me an 8,000 watt amp. Actually, no, I'm going to get a 12K. I'm going to get a 12K, a Teardown MD 12K that's half ohm stable. And then I'll wire it down to 1 ohm and it'll push somewhere around 7,000 watts. And so I figure those two subs wired at 1 ohm, I should be able to see closer to rated power. Yeah. All right. I'm going to start tearing this box down and get my subs out, man, so I can get this enclosure put together. I don't like the weather right now. It's looking rainy. All right. I'll see you guys in a few. Just a note here. The head of this screw has sheared completely off. And I don't know why it's done that. No idea. But it's broke. We have 2 of them like that. That one's broke too. Maybe somebody could comment and let me know why that is. Yeah. All right. I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm in trouble. So my side is a little bit. It's too small. Yeah. The front of the magnet, the front of the motor is sticking out past this area right around in here. I got a couple choices. One, I can add some length to the side by ripping a 2x4 in half. That'll give me a 2x4 is 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I could rip an inch off the 2x4. That'll give me 1.5 inches, and I could screw that piece that I ripped onto the top of this with the back and then the front, and then would be the entire length, so that when the top goes down, it'll give me 1.5 inches extra space. I could do that, or I could take my baffle and I could lower it. But if I lower the baffle, that's going to take away from my sealed space, and I can't take away from my sealed space because obviously the amount of sealed space you have is going to determine your low end roll off, low frequency roll off. And I want these subs to play as low as possible. That was the purpose of giving it 2.5 cubes. So I kind of figured that was going to happen. But at any rate, my second option is going to be putting the port over top of the motor, so that I could put a port over top of the motor. Now, if I did that, I'd have to have 2 ports, one over each motor. Right now, I'm looking at around 300 square inches of port area for both of these subs. That works out to about 17 inches by 17.5, something like that, for for 1 square port. I mean, I could cut that size down, and it would definitely fit. I could cut it down where the square would cut right in that area, but I don't know what that would be like, having 2 ports. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. I will have to contemplate how to fix this. I ran into the same problem with this box. Yes. I double baffled it. The first baffle is inside, the second baffle was outside. and I ran into the exact same issue. The top board was bumping the magnet, and so what I did was these packing boards that came with the sub, I screwed them to the outside of my baffle. Yeah, and so it was triple baffled. Yeah, and that solved my problem. Okay, so I got to do something again, and I don't want to take away from my I don't want to take away from my sealed space at all, my sealed volume at all. So I'm just going to add, I'm going to add to the ported volume, because I'd rather my higher frequency roll off be a little lower than my lower frequency roll off being higher, definitely. So I'm going to get this fixed so I can get this box screwed together, and my dude's going to come over this evening and help me put it in. Alright, let me fix this. Alright, so this is my baffle. This is going to be the sealed side. And what I've done here is I've gotten my centers. The center of this baffle this way, and then the center of the baffle this way. Okay, now my speakers are going to be 1 inch apart, so I've got ½ inch off the center for each way, and that's going to be the side of the speaker, and that's going to give me enough space to put a brace in the middle of that. Okay, now I measured from surround to surround is 12 and an eighth, 12 inches and an eighth. Okay, so the center of that is going to be 6 and a 16th. Okay, so I'm going to have my sub sitting as far back to the back of the wall of the enclosure as I can get them, and that's going to give me a little more room up front for the top board to come on. Okay, so what I did was I measured from the side of the to the end, and it is right at a ½ inch. I gave myself 5/8, so I measured 5/8 off of the back of the baffle. Yeah, and then from there I measured 12 and an eighth. I found the center of that, which is 6 and a 16th on both of these, and that'll be the point where I drill my hole, because I have a circle guide for my router, and that is where I'll drill my hole for my circle guide and cut my cutouts for my baffle. Yeah, I got this from Lowe's when I bought this router table. Of course, I'll have to take the router off of the router table, but yeah, and so that will be that will be for my baffles. And once I cut these holes out, then I'll work on getting the enclosure put together. But I want to make sure the speakers are going to fit. I'm going to go ahead and mount the speakers on top of the baffle, not through the baffle, but on top of the baffle, and that way I can pull them out anytime I need to. Because one thing I'm learning about these Orion subs is the spiders are kind of crap. It's not so much that the spiders are crap, it's the tinsel leads are crap. Yeah, they get really hot for some reason, and they burn holes through the spider, and it causes the spider to fail. This was the same problem I had with my 15-inch sub. I already recombed that one once, and to be quite honest with you, I found a piece of spider. Let's see, I found a piece of spider in one of my 12s. I don't know where it's at. It was in one of these. I saw it. There it is. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that in there. What the heck is wrong with this camera? It keeps turning upside down. I don't know if you can see that in there, but it's right in there. Anyway, that's a piece of spider. When I looked up in there, I seen that the tinsel lead is you can see the tinsel lead through the spider. And so my guess is that it's gotten hot, probably from me clipping it, without a doubt. I know. I got it bad. But anyway, so I want to be able to make sure I can get these out. At some future point, we might put something else in there, I don't know. But I guess I need to start being a little more careful with my clipping action. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get this baffle cut and start putting this enclosure together. Alright. Alright, So I have found myself in a bind. I'm in a pickle. So I got this router with that Morrison bit on it, brand new. There's the circle guide. Yeah, comes in. It's actually a 3-in-1 circle guide. It does large circles, small circles, and it's also an edge guide. And I got this roto zip, which is a really handy tool. I got a plywood blade on it right now, or excuse me, plywood knife or plywood bit, whichever you want to call it. So, as you can see, it is less than 1 layer too short to go all the way through this wood. And the router is even less, which I can lower it some. Alright, so it's less than that too. As you can look up there, you can see the cutting edge. The cutting edge has to be protruding through the top of the wood so that it can make the cut at the top of the wood. So that's as low as I can set it. And it leaves me that much. So obviously I'm going to have to get a longer one. What I should have done is wait and cut them one at a time and then used my flush trim bit to cut the second one. But I didn't have a flush trim bit at the time, and I was confident that that would work. So what that leaves me with is the old trusty jigsaw, and I'm so thankful that it goes all the way through. Oh my goodness. But now I'm going to have to draw my circle out. It's a 12 and an 1/8, and guess what I don't have? I don't have a compass. I'll figure it out. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so I have figured out my dilemma. I can't believe something as simple as a friggin' compass I don't have out of all the tools that I have. So as you can see, I'm clear down the edge right there. Actually, that board's not really level, but now it is. It's level, so I'm cleared, and I made marks for the edges of the subwoofer. Yeah, so that I'm just gonna simply trace the surround. I'm going to trace out the surround underneath right there. I'm going to take my pencil. You can't see that because of the shade, but I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to go around it and trace it out, and I'll cut it out with a jigsaw, and if it's not large enough I can round it out with I got a bit from my drill. It's like a file bit. It grinds, and there it goes in a circle, and I can round it out to make sure that I got enough room for the surround to clear. Yeah, alright. Let me let me get this done. Let me work on this some. Okay. Okay. I got it traced out. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty light. Yeah, alright. Yeah, I got it traced out. I'm going to take and drill my holes and use my jigsaw and cut the baffles out. And then I'm going to widen it. So, yeah. Note to self, buy a compass. Yeah? Okay. Alright, so I got the first one cut out. I'm not real great with the jigsaw blade, and so you can see how that is not straight. I'm gonna take my router and my flush trim bit, and I'm gonna trim this hole, and hopefully at least while it's get the sides of it level, and then I shall check the subwoofer and see how it goes. Alright. Alright, so I got it cut out. I feel comfortable with it. I feel comfortable with the edges. Not going to rub my surround. Wear it thin. I'm putting these in for the bolts. yeah, that way I can make sure that it's in there nice and tight. It's difficult getting these things straight. It's not easy getting them level. Got to make sure they go in level. That way the screw or the bolt is straight up and down. I'm thinking that it is entirely possible that that is the reason why some of the bolts got sheared off in the last enclosure, because this wasn't straight up and down. You want to make sure it's flush with the wood, that way you can get a good seal. Yeah, alright. I'm going to go around these, and I got them drilled out. I did not drill them all the way through because it doesn't need to be drilled all the way through, but I'm going to go around there. I'm going to test fit the sub, and then I'll come over and I'll do this one. Alright. Okay, so our baffle is set, man. Yes. This is taking forever. This is taking several hours to do. Much longer than I had anticipated. Yeah. Now we're on to assembly of the box. It's pretty straightforward. If anybody's ever built a box before, I'm pretty sure they know how to do that. It's just a bunch of screwing and gluing. Depending on the type of wood you got, you want to drill some test holes, or pilot holes rather, for your screws so the wood doesn't split. I'm not really sure whether or not I'm going to do that or not. I didn't drill pilot holes on this box, and it didn't split. So I don't know. It takes twice as long to do that. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. At least why it's not with this box. Maybe when we do an SPL build, we might. Yeah. All right. Let's get to gluing and screwing. Oh yeah. By the way, just for anybody that's wondering, this is what it looks like, and you can see I will have no problems at all rubbing this around against the wood. It's nice. Yeah. This table's flexing on me. It's causing the subs to sink in the center, but it's nice and right. It's perfect. I'll have no problems with that. Alright, we'll get back to it. Alright, so we'll start the gluing. I'm sure everybody knows, make sure you got plenty of glue in the joint. You want it to squeeze out. It should make a mess. That's how you get it airtight. I am using Gorilla Glue. I like Gorilla Tape, and so I decided that I want to try the Gorilla Glue. Yeah. Alright. I'm sure nobody wants to watch me glue this thing together. However, I did cut the front to match the angle. It's 51 degrees of this, so that it will go down. My top is gonna meet that. You know. Alright. This is probably one of the best angle cuts I've ever made, actually. I'm not too good at that, but yeah, I think this is one of the better ones I've made. I was sad about this though. It kind of bothered me, but I'll sand it. Alright, let's get it. One other thing to note, being as this is double walled, I'm staggering my screws. That way I'm making sure that I'm getting solid and I'm sinking in it. Both pieces. Through the top two and into these two. The glue is squeezing out pretty decent. I'm pleased with that. I'm not happy about that, but you know, I'm not really building this for looks. This is my first one, so this is more about how well it's going to work. Experience of it. Yeah. All right. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it right here for a moment. I need to be able to cock the sealed section. So I'm gonna leave it open so that I can get in here, with a caulk gun and caulk it. My glue job is terrible. Overlook it. It looks a little better in the ported end, but yeah, the sealed end I just didn't really care much about it because most people are not going to see that anyway. So we will let it dry, and then we'll come back out tomorrow and caulk the sealed section. Man, I don't know how I'm going to get this back joint though. I guess I can turn the box over on its back and then run my caulk gun down in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 joints. Well, 4 joints is better than 12, so I'm gonna have to seal it up really good. I got an idea. I'm doing 2.5 cubes sealed here. I'm gonna put 2 pounds of poly in it and increase that by 20%, so that my low frequency roll off is a bit lower. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Till tomorrow. Later. Alright. Day 3. And today we will, let me get these lights on. It's gonna rain today, so I've moved everything inside here. Yeah. Alright, day 3, and all my joints should be dry. Yeah, it's gonna caulk them real good. Make sure everything's sealed up before I close this box up. What I really need to do though is figure out how much I need to add to this box. Top of it. My thought here, I guess I could do the math and see how many square inches that is, and just see whether or not that's the big enough port. No, can't do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to lay a piece of wood over the top of it right here and measure the distance between the top of this wood and the bottom of the wood over top of the magnet, and see how much needs to be added right there. If you can get the general idea of what I'm talking about, and then I'm gonna rip. I haven't made my mind up whether I do strips of plywood or rip a 2x4. I'll rip a 2x4. I got some extra plywood over there. It looked like a couple inches. I might could do a double layer of plywood. That'd be 1.5 inches, but it looked like a little more than 1.5 inches. Let me get it back up there. I'll have to get somebody out here, get my wife out here to help me hold that so I can measure it exactly. Anyway, that's what I got going on today. I'm gonna get this finished up so I can be done with it. Alright, later guys. Alright guys, let's see, day 3. I had to skip a couple days because of this weather. Alright, I don't know how well you can see this. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera, but I don't like these gaps, especially in this sealed portion. I got them here, and I got them here. They're not so bad. They're not so bad on these corners right here, but I'm gonna seal them up. I don't really like silicone, so I'm gonna use sound deadener to seal up these corners for certain. Then I'll put the back on, and I'll hit the back corners from inside the speaker code. Once I get that done, I'm going to take and set the speaker box in the truck and put the subs in, because there's no way I can carry that by myself in there, and I don't really have no help right now. And once I get the box in the truck, then I'm going to put the subs in, and I'm going to screw them down, and then I'm going to put the top on it. I'm going to mount the top on the box. The port I've decided on what to do with the port. The port calls for 270 square inches. It's two 24-inch, or excuse me, two 12-inch cones with 30 millimeter X-Max, and I used a calculator online, and it said 16 and a half square inches, or excuse me, 16 by 16, or 270 square inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little larger than that. I'm going to go with 300 square inches. I'm going to tune it around 60 hertz, maybe 70 hertz or whatever. I want widest bandwidth possible. So I'm going to take and on the corners, on the ported end, on the edges here, I'm gonna put chamfer. I got some chamfer, some of this. I'm gonna put this in there just to round the corners off. On the port, once I get it in, once I get it settled, I don't have an SPL meter. I wish I did. So you know, until I get an SPL meter, I really can't play with the port too much. I mean, I can try to tune it by ear, but I don't know enough about any of that to try to do that by ear. So with an SPL meter, then I can tune the port. You know, I can change the length of it, the width of it, the depth of it, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna be sealing this thing up with my sound deadener, and once I get that ready, we'll take another look at it. All right, I'll see you guys in a few. One thing I might note, guys, while I'm doing this, I mean it's sunny out, but it's kind of cool. I'm using a heat gun to heat this up just a bit. You can see how it's coming and squeezing out there really good. Yeah, I'm using the heat gun just to heat this up, to make sure it sticks. Once I get all these seams done, I'm gonna put some braces in. I'm gonna put a brace right here. I'm gonna put a brace right here, and then I'm gonna put a brace right here in the center, just to give it some, just to give it some bracing. I don't know if it would need it or not, being double walled, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah. All right, let me get this finished. All right, guys, my super duper idea to use Gorilla Glue, because I like these products so much, was a bad idea. Do not, I repeat, do not use this glue. Not for box building. It's way too thin. And what's happening is that when I put the wood together, it's squeezing out. That's what it's supposed to do, and then it runs down the wood. Yeah. So the construction adhesive that I normally use, I do not have, and I'm not running back to the store to get it. So what I'm doing here is I'm laying down a thick bead, and I'm going to let it dry a bit, and then I'll put the wood on it. Because if I try to glue the back of it and the bottom of it, then this, no matter how I set it, it's either going to run down this way or it's going to run down this way. Either way. So what I'm doing here is I'm just letting it sit. I'm going to let it get gummy to about the consistency of chewing gum, and then I'll turn the box up so it doesn't run down, and I'll lay my bead of glue right here, and then I'll set my back on, and then I'll come back in and I'll put the sound deadener in these joints here, in this joint and these 4 joints right along through there, and hopefully that'll seal it up decently. You know, I really want to get this sealed up really well, because a lot of you lose a lot of output because it's not sealed good, and so I really want to seal it well. I want to get it good and sealed. I don't want to lose any output through that. Yep. All right. Just a heads up, man. Do not use Gorilla Glue to build an enclosure. Do not. All right. I'll be back shortly. All right. We got this all done. I don't know how good you can see that, but every joint in here is taped up with sound deadener. Got my brace in. Yeah. All right, that is all for the bottom, man. Yeah. Now I just got to get the top on and cut the port in it. That's going to be the top board. I got to cut a port in it. Still haven't totally decided where I want to put the port at just yet. Port placement. I've decided on the square inches, but I have not decided on port placement. I'd like to put it right here. Put it right up in there. but I'm not sure if it would be good to have it right there next to the speakers. That maybe it should be up here. I don't think it should matter. The box is what's resonating, so sound waves is definitely going to fill the entire box. So I'm thinking I'll probably put it right here in the front. Yep. All right, let me get that on in. Later. All right, I just finished cutting my port out with a flush trim bit, and I gotta tell you what, that's not as easy as Mark from Car Radio Fabrication makes it. Of course, this is my first time doing anything like that, but it wasn't easy. It got me breathing hard. I guess, I could have been doing something wrong. I don't know. I was going against the rotation, so I know I was cutting right, but it wasn't easy. But I got it. All right, I got the port cut. This is taking forever and a day, and it's because I made a huge mistake. Not really sure how that happened. I got a it's like a digital compass. Where'd it go? That measures angles. Well, here it is. Yeah, it measures angles, you know. So you turn it on, then you zero it to where it's 0, and then you use it to measure angles, you know. Yeah, no problem. That's how it works. As you move this, the angle changes. Well, anyway, I measured the angle of my side piece right there, and it said 51 degrees. So I'm like, okay, I could do 50 on my saw. But cutting at 50 degrees, as you can tell here, let me see if I can get the, yeah, as you can see, the angle of the front is not the same as the side. It's way off. So I got to take all the screws out, which is a bunch. And then I'm going to have to try to beat this thing off because I glued the crap out of it. Yeah, alright. That's what I'm going to have to do. I've already glued and cut another piece to go back in its place right here. So this will work. And then I got the top ready and I got the port done. What I am going to have to do though is I'm putting in some insert. I got me gasket. I'm gonna use gasket material to seal the lid. I'm not gonna glue. I'm not gonna glue the top down. I'm not gonna glue the lid on. I'm gonna use inserts and I'm gonna bolt it down. This way, if my subs mess up, man, I can just take the bolts out, pull the top off, and do what I gotta do. I ordered 2 new recones for my 2 Orion 12s. So that in future, you know, if and when I clip them to death or blow them up, I got fresh cones to replace them with. I think that's just smart thinking, especially considering how rare Orion parts are becoming lately. I saw some on Amazon and I jumped on it. I hadn't seen them in a while, so I went ahead and got them. Yeah, so I'm just going to bolt down. I'm going to bolt down the whole top rather than, you know, cutting out a square and then bolting that square. I'm going to bolt the whole top, and I'm going to use this sealer. This rubber gasket. It's not sponge, it's rubber. It's pretty decent gasket material, really, so that that'll fit my top. And then I got some inserts. Actually, I had some threaded inserts. These ones. And we're going to use these right here. But I went to Lowe's to get some bolts for that. These are metrics. They're size 10. Of course, they didn't have size 10 in the length that I needed. Never surprising when you go to Lowe's. And so I went ahead and got these top. They're 3/8, and they'll screw down in there. But these are different than these. These here seat at the top of your hole when you drill it. Yeah. These seat at the bottom. So you got to make sure not to over drill the hole. To be able to seat the bolt in there properly. Of course, then I got washers and everything, so we're good to go there. Oh, I also got me a new bit. I got me a 2.5-inch mortising bit because the one that I had that I was going to use to cut my circle out with in the baffle wasn't long enough. so that really irked me, and I ended up having using a jigsaw. And to be quite honest with you, that jigsaw wasn't easy to cut through. 1.5 inches of birch. Yeah, that was the whole reason. That was the whole point of getting the router, was so that I could use the router to do that. So anyway, I had to use the jigsaw, and I wasn't happy about that. But that's all right. It is what it is. I got one now, so in future reference, I can use it if I need to. First time I had to learn how to use the circle guide, but I'm sure I can figure that out. But all right, man, we got to get this done today because I'm also going to rebuild my console. I mocked it up with old plywood, and you can see that right here. That's one side of it there, and there's the other sides of it. I mocked it up with old plywood. I work concrete for a living, and that was just some old concrete form plywood that I found laying around. And so that now that I got it, now that I see that I can do it and get it the way that I want to do it, I'm going to do it out of regular grade cabinet material, and I'm probably just going to go ahead back with birch on it. I don't know. 3/4 is awfully thick. Might could use something thinner, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with what I got. I'm going to have to get some more now because I had to end up using the spare that I had, the other half sheet of birch, to redo the top. Yes. All right. At any rate, we're going to get this done today, man, and hopefully we'll be bumping this evening. We'll find out later. All right, guys. I'll see you in a few. All right. Let's look at the aftermath. I'm not really very happy about that. There's a couple places that I put some blemishes in it. I mean, it's not terrible, but you know, when you want to do something, you want to do it well, man. Any little blemish is disheartening. So, at any rate, I got it off. It wasn't easy, but I got it off. I'm gonna do my best to sand this down, clean it up. My God, it's ripped everything, and get this other front put on there. I mean, I'm just disheartened, guys. You have to overlook me. This was a little more than I can bear, to be quite honest with you. It almost makes me want to do it all over. If it wasn't $175 to get more wood, man, I'd go ahead and do it, just to be quite honest. But I'm laid off, and this is a project, and to be quite honest with you, I can't afford $175 to sink in this box, man. I just can't. Not after getting those recons. All right, let's clean it up and see how good we can get it looking. Okay. So I'm using a roto zip. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but people who use who put up drywall and stuff use these. I'm using the roto zip, and I'm getting it down really close. I don't know if you can see that. Getting it down really close. It's not perfect. Once I get it really close like this, then I will take my sander and come back over it. I've done up to here, basically. So it's taking it from that to this. I'm gonna have to come back and turn it on the inside and get that inner edge, but that's no problem. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna have to glue the heck out of it again to make sure that it's filled in all the way. I don't know. You can tell, you see where I had the sound deadener in there. I will definitely have to use that again, without a doubt, because you can see it ripped up the veneer right there. It ripped off the veneer, so there's definitely gonna be a gap, but that's all right. That's all right. This is just practice anyway, guys. This is my first one, you know. I'm really just kind of getting the mechanics down with this, you know, the cubic footage, and you know what that'll produce when you raise and lower the sealed section and ported section, and you know, make the port bigger and smaller. So it's not about perfection here, it's about practice. All right, let me go ahead and get this done. Okay, so it is sanded, man. It doesn't look great, but it's pretty smooth. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. This is not, I don't know how well this is gonna seal. I'm disgusted, but it is what it is, and we'll make it work, and we'll get it glued glued the crap out of it, get it caulked, put the sound deadener back to seal it, so at least it'll be sealed well, and get the top on this thing, man, and get it done. Yeah, alright. Alright, so here we are. We got the front on, and now we're setting our threaded inserts. Yeah, so that we can screw the lid down, and we'll put a gasket around it, and that'll be the end of it, man. Put the subs in it and wire it up. Yeah, it's been horrendous. It's been terrible. But it's good practice. It's good practice. I can't wait to do a bigger build. Be back when we get the lid on. Okay, just a quick note, guys. For anybody that uses inserts, threaded inserts, they're awesome. They're awesome. I'm loving it. I love using them. But I'm having a problem today. When I went to get some bolts for the threaded inserts that I had, they didn't have any. So of course I had to get different threaded inserts to fit the bolts that they did have, which were these things. Yes. And I'm telling you now, if you go to Lowe's and get these threaded inserts, you're wasting your money. These are garbage. Absolutely garbage. You use your screwdriver, big one-way screwdriver, and you get them in there and they break. Yeah, I broke about 3 so far. So it is what it is. Alright, I just thought I'd get that out there. Alright guys, I got it. I hope I got it. I almost got it. I got all my holes drilled to screw down the top. Got the terminal cup installed. I got the box done. Yay, man. All the way down to one detail. I ran out of weather stripping right here, so I'm gonna have to go back to Lowe's tomorrow and get some more weather stripping and get some glue just to the areas there, just to seal it up some. I don't know, might not need to do that if it squeezes flat enough, but I'm gonna put a little drop of glue in there anyway, just in case. Yes, it is done. I got about a little over 2 pounds of poly in there. It's 2.5 cubes, and from my understanding and what I've learned about doing fourth order boxes, you know, your low end roll off is determined by the size of your sealed section, and so 2.5 cubes with 2 pounds of poly, 3 pounds of poly, somewhere in there, because it's a 5-pound box, and I used, I don't know, near half of it, somewhere in that area, but should increase my box size near 20%, and so that I'm hoping that I can get in the lower 20s other than just say maybe 25 for my low end roll off. Yeah. Now I'm gonna get this in my truck and be able to put the woofers in and screw it down and get it going, man. Tomorrow I'm gonna pick up some more birch so that I can redo my console. I want to use different wood. I want to clean out my truck some. I'm gonna have to screw it down and whatnot. I also need to kill mat over these vent areas right here. I'm not gonna need them no more. I'm losing SPL, plus it's causing vibration in between my bed. So one more day and it shall be finished, I hope. I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so most of the work that I have to do will be done inside the cab anyway, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Alright, until then, later guys. Good morning guys. I'm finishing this up. I'm taking this chamfer and I'm going around my port. I'm going to go around it on both sides to give it like a flared edge. Hopefully, I don't know, it'll make it more efficient, make the port more efficient. I got the weather stripping all the way around it now. That's good. I got it in the truck. I got the subs mounted. They are screwed down. I will have to wire them up. Once I get the lid back on, once I get the chamfer glued down, I'm gonna glue it on this side. Then I'm gonna turn it over and I'm gonna glue it on the other side to give it that rounded edge. It also increase the port length a little bit. So yeah, probably I don't know, maybe 1.5 inches or so. That'll give me some extra port depth and something to play with, something to tune, I suppose. But I'll get the lid on it, and then of course all I'll have to do is put my console back together so I can wire it up and be able to see what it sounds like. I have some recones coming in today from my subs, so if and when I destroy them, because I got this real bad habit of clipping them, I will be able to recone them fairly easily just by taking the lid back off. Yeah, okay. Yay. Yay. Alright, man. It is installed. It's wired up, ready to go. They're in there. It's about as far back as I can see it, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how it sounds. Hopefully it wasn't a big waste of time, you know? Yeah, we'll find out. We'll get a demo here after I get the amp wire done. Alright. Alright guys, am I recording? Yeah. Alright, I got it finished. I got the box in. I got my driver's side seat bolted down. It did not turn out the way that I wanted. Because I had to modify the box. My seat doesn't go back as far as it should. It should be going back to right here. I guess it would if I could cut the box right there, but I can't, because then I will cut off my bolts. So that's not happening.
Everybody screaming gang, gang, gang.
I want to get a demo here.
Everybody do the same dang thing. Trying to sell dope.
Crud.
Everybody screaming gang, gang, gang. Everybody do the same dang thing. Trying to sell dope and they smoke weed. Those killers go bang, bang, bang. Trying to tell them about Jesus Christ. Feeling like your spirit's dead, he could bring to life. Just receive his sight and come up to him. No more staying down. You got to live. Get up out the grave. You can rise up and receive his grace before it's time's up. God is good and he's faithful to forgive. He saved me from my sins. You repent. Living water got me feeling good. All about the time and you really should.
Not too bad. Just a 12. Let me turn that down for my wife gets me. Alright. That be it. I gotta finish my console somehow. I gotta go get some more wood. I'm gonna redo the console. I don't know, guys. This has just been practice for me. I like it. I like the way it works. It is a little bit louder. You know, there's a little more pressure. It's not a whole lot louder, but it's definitely a little more pressure. And so I like that. If I had a if I had an SPL meter, you know, I could play with the port, you know, and do all that good stuff, tuning it or whatever. But I don't. So, which is not to say I won't play with the port. I may do that anyway. I just I don't know what the tuning is. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I could do a signal generator and try to watch the cone, but I ain't trying to go all out like that. This has just been practice to build this box and see what it's like, see what it sounds like. And I achieved what I wanted to achieve. That's what I set out to achieve. That's what's up. All right. Oh, look at there. Ah, recones. Yes. Yep. From my 12s. 4 ohm. Yeah. Should be. Recon kit. Yeah. Definitely. Alright, well, now if they blow, I'm in good shape. Alright guys, it's been real. Later. Till the next video.